Welcome to Look Behind the Look, the new podcast that examines iconic looks in film, television, music, and fashion history. I'm your host, Tiffany BARTOK. The photograph that I can't shake, and there are so many insanely outrageous, gorgeous photos of Dianne Brill, is a stark black and white picture of Mick Jagger, and he's staring longingly with the look of a schoolboy in a suit at this incredibly curvaceous woman in white platinum hair and an updo. Cleavage that would make Jane Mansfield blush, staring back at Mick with a look that says, yeah, you got that right. You've never seen a girl like me before on the streets of NYC. The insane life of Dianne Brill began in Wisconsin, then London in her early 20s, and by some fluke of a visa problem, New York City got her. Thank God. And boy, did she rule this town. At the ripe old age of 26, the New York Times of April 27, 1985 headlined an article, Dianne Brill reigns over a world of parties, and goes on to describe her answering machine with a nightly barrage of invites. That's when we had answering machines as our lifelines. The invites were from the likes of Andy Warhol, Mick Jagger, and Sting. Andy Warhol famously said of Dianne, if you were at a party and Dianne Brill was there, you knew you were at the right party. Her supersonic beauty, skin-tight rubber fashion, oh, and don't forget her club entrances, which drove the paparazzi insane with cries of Dianne, Dianne. They all made her officially known as the Queen of the Night. She was the top of what became known as the Fab 500, literally the 500 coolest people that were on any New York City guest list in the 1980s. So we're talking Iggy Pop, Robert Mapplethorpe, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring, Annie Leibovitz, Stephen Klein, Debbie Harry, Mario Testino, and of course, Andy Warhol. She was married to Rudolf Pieper, who's the owner of the legendary club Danceteria. Yeah, that's where Desperately Seeking Susan has Madonna dancing. And it also helped her in all of the right places. But Dianne really didn't need any help. She ended up acting in films, like iconic downtown NYC film Slaves of New York. For Love or Money with Michael J. Fox was another one. She wrote a book, Boobs, Boys, and High Heels, or How to Get Dressed in Just Under 6 Hours, and you can still get it. She started a clothing line, and she was dressing Duran Duran, Prince, walking in runway shows for Terry Mugler, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Vivienne Westwood. This is a really cool thing. The mannequin manufacturer, Adele Rufstein, translated her famed hourglass figure, which was named the shape of the decade, into a store window commercial mannequin in stores worldwide. So it was pretty epic. She started her own cosmetics line, Dianne Brill Cosmetics, and that's really popular in Europe and you can get it. And yes, now she is on Instagram and YouTube and has her own channel, The Brill of It All. Super cute name. Dianne Brill was truly way ahead of the curve for being famous, for being fabulous. We are talking way before social media likes, followers, and the notion that people are just famous for no discernible reason these days. See, the thing about Dianne is she's famous because she created a sensation, a fury. She represented what it meant to be everywhere at all times. A sensation in anyone that watched her walk across the room or simply Googles one of the many absolutely outrageous pictures of her. Another photo that stands out to me is this absolutely confused and terrified young Tom Hanks standing in a t-shirt as Dianne seems to whisper to him, hey, everybody's jumping in a cab to go to club area, so you want to ride with me? And Tom's face is like, get me out of here. I mean, Dianne was the party. You had to hang on tight. The party was Dianne. It's really hard to explain what that era of New York was like. Art openings, clubs, look over there, it's Blondie. Over there, it's Fab Five Freddy. And all of a sudden, Keith Haring's like writing on your t-shirt with a Sharpie. Then the word goes out that Tony Schifferazzi Gallery is on tonight. And it's the Warhol Basquiat collab opening and everybody has to go. So everybody can get in. You didn't have to have tons of money and be sponsored by someone. You had to just be cool. There was an energy, a vibe, and Dianne Brill was its movie star, its main attraction. Just spend some time with these photos. Trust me. Make sure you're gonna watch this on YouTube, because when Dianne jumped on my Zoom, I was blown away. You know, she still got it, of course. You know Diane. And she said, I wanted to look like a Polaroid of a Polaroid. So I think that's exactly her vision was executed perfectly. We had the best time talking and swapping stories. Well, no, you know what? Swapping stories is the wrong term. I didn't give any stories of myself. I obviously cannot, I don't have a single story that could ever compare to one that Diane has. And we had such a great time talking, and I can't wait for you to listen in on our conversation here. Enjoy. I'm here with Diane Brill, who is fabulously joining me today. And I am so excited to talk to you about all of the things. And I'm a little bit scared that we might be talking until tomorrow.
I know. Well, I'm comfortable. Get comfortable. Here we go.
Yes. There is so much to cover. I was thinking about how we met today as I was like preparing, and I was thinking it was Santi who introduced us, our dear friend, amazing artist. We were at a Studio 54 party. That was the theme, but it was a book party. Yeah. Do you remember?
Right.
It was a book party, and it was one of the Mao PR parties. And that night was unforgettable for me because I got to meet Pat Cleveland and you. And I thought, I don't know if this night could get any better. And I don't know where Sandy Lyncher was that night. But
the party was
amazing.
Great.
It was fabulous.
Yes. Yeah, the Mao boys there's no one like them. They're so good.
Yes, I was thinking, why am I thinking it was Studio 54 vibes, but it was because of the way they decorated it was to replicate Studio 54.
Yeah, exactly.
Incredible. Exactly. And you obviously have had your share of nightlife unlike any other. How do you even wrap your mind around describing who and what you are? I always say Andy Warhol's muse, a muse of so many iconic fashion designers and people, and you've had so many adventures. You were dubbed Queen of the Night. I was curious to turn the tables and ask you how you would describe yourself.
Oh, Christ. I don't think that it's something that can be done in like a title.
No.
Because, because I think, I've had a lot of hard things happen in my life, but I've also had some kind of crazy miracles. Like, what the hell? I was a popular girl in a big city, and then all of a sudden I became this thing, and they even called me the queen, and I was the queen of the night. And Andy Warhol said, who was a good friend, said, if you went to a party and you saw that Diane was there, you knew you were at the right party, which was a major compliment because in those days, there were every night was an amazing party somewhere, highbrow, lowbrow, whatever brow. So there was always something happening. There was something happening if you were waiting for a train. There was something happening. It was an electric time in the city. And to be queen of all that is unbelievable, really. And it opened up so many doors for my whole life. And after that, I think I started to, waver after about 9 years on as queen, and I wanted something else. And I met Manfred Thierry Mugler, and then I started modeling and doing runway for him. Some say I was a muse for him. I hope so.
Yes, I would agree. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, and then I stayed with him for about 10 years. Dude, I mean, I just did every show and every season. Oh my God. Every season they would say from the season before, they'd say, Diane Brill's coming in, Miss Brill's coming in. I'd come in, it was me alone with all of the stuff. I mean, everything from the show before. So there are 45 girls in a show with 3 changes, just closets full of gloves and shoes and, giant coats and fluffy things and gowns and everything. And I would just go for it. I think they've never seen anything like me.
It was like, take your pick.
It was everything. They gave me everything. They gave me everything. So obviously I was always in Mugler. I was only wearing Mugler. And
Yeah.
I guess that helped to promote me being a muse for the house because I was always in the fashions at night and day. And of course on the runway and in print and everything too.
So how, okay. Oh my gosh, so many things. What brought you and
I fell
Andy
off the runway once.
in this 10 years? Do we have
Okay, this
video
was
of
real.
this?
No, but this was drama because Gautier wanted me to be kind of star in his show, right? So he was doing a show, and I loved him too. But Mugler was very possessive with me, as he was with people that were prominent in his house. We were friends as well, so I understand. And I said, "Tree, I really want to do it." And he said, "Yeah, well, let me talk to Jean-Paul." So they sat down and discussed whether and how they could do it. And finally, in a way, Thierry said, yes, it's not official, of course, but, between friends and as a muse, you have a certain respect for the house and for the designer, obviously. And
Wow.
I did the show. So when I got on the runway, it was Gautier stuff. It was all the shoes and the crazy umbrellas and the cages and all that stuff. And on my second passage, and my new boyfriend was in the audience, right?
Oh no.
Right. Yeah, that's, and Grace Jones and Jack Nicholson was like right in the front, and all the friends were, screaming. Well, I don't know. I do a move. I'm feeling hot, right? I feel like, okay, I'm the girl. It's about me, this show. And whether it was or not, who knows? But I felt I was.
Yeah.
And I moved like that. And the stage was shaped like a racetrack. So there are photographers in the winter, photographers around, and then like 5,000-6,000 people around the racetrack. And I'm walking down this racetrack, and remember, it's 6 feet in the air. It's when they were high, and I just go over the edge. But I mean, I just like walk over the edge, like boom, right? But then look, I could have died, right? Instead, I go down and I land on my feet, bend my knees, put my arms in the air, 9.5. Like an Olympic landing. And I'm this far from Jack Nicholson. I swear it looked like I was trying to jump in his lap. And everyone thought I did it on purpose.
Oh my God, that is a fabulous story.
I didn't die, and I didn't get hurt even. And then I climbed up the photographer's ladder. Then I finished my walk. I felt, queen of everything. And I remember Mugler looking at me like, see, that's what you get. See, humiliation in Paris. But it wasn't humiliation. Are you kidding? I really was like, I was jumping off of everything. Yes, it's a runway. Let me jump.
What did Gautier say about this? Did he love it?
Oh my God, it was so Gautier, the whole experience. The whole thing was wonderful. He was thrilled. Obviously, he was thrilled.
And Jack Nicholson was thrilled as well, I'm sure.
Well, those photographs were so funny. And it's on video, and you hear them go like this, where the whole audience goes, and then yay, when I don't die and I land on my feet and I do a 9.5, those things, those little graces that happen in your life that are just very lovely, those little miracles. How did that happen?
Oh my God, it was meant to happen. It was meant to happen.
It was meant
absolutely.
to happen. And then I married the guy.
Wait, really? I was wondering what his reaction was.
Yeah, he said, okay, I got to marry her. That's it. Please marry me. Will you marry me? It's like, what? Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So you got into modeling only through Mugler. Like that's how you
of course, I think every girl that diets or dreams models. So like even when I was in Florida, well, you know what I mean? When I was in Florida, I had my best friend, we would model bathing suits around the pool, bathing suits. And so we got $25 a day, and we were dreaming of being supermodels one day. And we would model in Tampa, and we'd walk around the little tables, and we would, pose and, in the bathing suits. And there were men and women, and they all clapped. And, we did that. And then you meet someone who wants to put you in Playboy, and then you say no. But, it was fun. Yeah, but it was fun. And then in later years, during Queen of the Nighttime, I was approached by Playboy, and they offered me $100,000. And honest to God, I cannot believe how funny I was, because I was like, never. I was like,
I'm surprised
No,
by that. I'm surprised. Yeah.
no, because no, it was different times. And I remember that I was doing something pretty hardcore sexy. I wore a lot of rubber. I was always showing my cleavage. I had a Jane Mansfield kind of walk and all that, which believe me, I worked on. It wasn't like I was born that way. Um, and I knew that I wanted to write. And so I started writing articles, and then I wrote a book for women. And I felt, look, men too, of course, but it was steering towards, how to be a babe. And how to get dressed in just under 6 hours, boobs, boys, and high heels. And I thought, dude, you have to, in these times, it was different then, you have to draw a sort of border, like what you'll do and what you won't do. Because in those times, being naked was more or less just for men. It wasn't like a liberating thing,
Right, of course.
or for the hot chicks in the room. It was really more or less just for men. So it would send the wrong message to the people who were supporting me and with me and clapping for me and all that. And I at the time I made the right decision, but now I feel like, oh my God, I would love to see those pictures.
Right, right. I mean, speaking of pictures, you and I don't even know where to begin with all these incredible looks that you have executed and been a part of, and they're historical. I mean, how was there anything, obviously you just told me something that you wouldn't do, but was there were you up for anything, or was it a certain type of vibe? Did people see you in different ways and want to dress you up in different ways?
Well, yeah, one time there was a really hot boy band, and I was doing these like really crazy photos with this, who is it? Oh God, if I can remember the name of the photographer, it's somebody you would know, but we'll have to go back to that. Anyway, and I was shooting with the boy band, and they were like crazy, drinking Jack Daniels in the morning and all that stuff. And I had this gorgeous Mongolian lamb blue fur coat that I wore when no one had one, except my best friend. She had a red one, but the two of us walking down the street in our matching coats. But I loved that coat. It was just like everything to me. And I wore the coat and I put it on the seat. And then we were like posing, and this photographer was very raw, and he would like shoot us in the toilets, like pretend making out and all this stuff. It was really, really hot, raunchy, very good shots actually for a catalog for Sicily, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then one of those little fuckers threw up on my blue coat.
No.
So no, the guy turns. There's anywhere he could throw up anywhere from Jack Daniels at 10 in the morning, and he goes, "Blah," on my blue fur coat.
Oh,
and then I of course freaked out, and then they were like labeling me a diva that day, and I thought, well, okay, I'm a diva, but don't throw up on my coat.
I didn't like that when you threw up on my beautiful thing, and so now,
but like modeling was very dangerous. Falling off things, people throwing up on you, like all these things. Nightclubs are so much more tame and calm and safe.
What were the nightclubs that you frequented the most?
I think I became queen of the night in Danceteria. I think that was the big send off. I was dating and in love with it was his club, his brainchild, Rudolf, and we're still friends, actually. We're still super close, which is really cool. We talk. He's in Brazil. He's doing great. And we're very close. Once you really love someone, you never really stop loving them. He just changes form a little bit. But anyway, Danceteria was the big thing. And I know we've talked about this before, Tiff, but I have recordings from answering machine messages that were to me from the 80s and 90s. So there are like, some of them are famous people. Like, I don't know, I went out with Nick Cage for like a minute, which was very complicated, never dated an actor. And he was cute then. He was very hot then.
You never told me about the Nick Cage.
Okay, anyway, but like I found a message from him going like, hey, girl, hey, some kind of answer machine sexy message. And then I found, things that used to happen in those days, which were crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, Serge Becker. And I would say that sex was very much more prominent. It was much more, let's say pre-AIDS, right? Sex was very prominent. Like it was, if a phone rang and you passed a phone booth, and if you picked it up, somebody would start talking sexual stuff to you, like random, like it was like in the air. If you would like, it's true. And if you walk by, it's really true. Like you'd walk by and people would see you, and there would be somebody you'd see that would be like totally gorgeous. Like it was an area of the town of New York where everybody was kind of hip, cool, attractive in some way, had some kind of spark. So it was like,
but is this your
my
lens?
God.
I feel like what you're saying
No,
is real, but is this your lens? I mean, who wouldn't be stopping and exuding like, oh my God, vibes when you walked by? I mean,
love,
give
love
me
you for
some
that.
of
But you
that.
know, there'd be like pre Johnny Depp, there'd be like hot
Right,
pirate guys, or you know, there would be like, you know, big hair guys, and there would be like 40s retro classic guys in the middle of the day walking around, and they'd be British, German, American, you know, from all different cultures, but we were all part of this tribe of people.
Mm.
And I think that there was this incredible pull that we wanted to be together. We were
How did
not
you find each other? You magnets
in the
or
clubs.
yes, the clubs.
The
Ah.
clubs were like the clubs. We lived for the clubs. We had day jobs, and everyone was creating, you know, but you know, your rent was cheap. And so you had more freedom to be able to create and to do things you want to do and dream. I know friend Leibovitz said something recently on Netflix on her special, and I was like, holy moly, that's really good. She said that when she first came to the city, she would make enough money working. I think she was a cab driver, but okay, whatever. And enough money just so she could pay her rent and eat something and buy a couple of drinks, and then stop working and just hang out, talk to people, create, dream, hear stories, tell stories. And she said, you know what? That's the history of art. And I thought, yeah, sitting in a bar, smoking cigarettes, talking actually is the history of art.
I mean,
You
you would
know?
know. I was at
Well,
the I was
yeah.
at the Guggenheim and saw you on the plaque. I mean, I was at Basquiat's exhibit and I was just I mean, you were in the heart of it and it is gone and look at you. You are I just saw you also posted something about Keith. I mean, you were in it. Are we ever going to have a revival like this? I think
I think
maybe
it,
after the
I think
pandemic it could be
I think it can't be a revival, but I think it has to be something new.
something
But
new.
I'm hopeful because you know we've all, even doing this interview, I feel like half not guarded but half awkward because this is not usual. This isn't my daily life to put on my biggest hairdo and a good circle light and be like a Polaroid and talk to a girlfriend. It's just not something I do. You know, we're locked in for a long time.
Yeah.
I have the
Yeah.
advantage of being able to go into two different countries because I have a family in two places, but still, you know, we've been shut down and narrow for a long time. And to open that up and the concept of the roaring 20s doesn't sound so unbelievable to me.
I agree with you. I right before the pandemic, weren't you were doing the Fairy God Babe?
Yes, the
Yes?
light ball. I
Yes.
hosted the life ball with 34,000 people in the audience and like 6 million on television in German speaking territories. I spoke English. And there was, of course, Dita Von Teese was there. Amanda Lepore,
Yes.
naturally. All the actors, that hot guy from Younger was there. Oh my God, he's so fucking gorgeous. He's just a kissy boy. You know, he's bisexual, so everybody can get a taste. He's just a divine guy. He was there, and you know, just tons of people. And I hosted the whole damn thing, and it was unbelievable because it's in the stage for 30,000 people viewing. You can imagine the enormity of it. It's huge.
I can't
And I had
believe
this
I've never been.
dress and
Oh.
yeah, you can Google it.
And what did you wear? What did you wear that night? I can't
Oh
remember
well,
now.
they made the designer made a dress for
Right.
this,
Okay. Yes. Okay.
and it was done in the opera, in the Viennese opera. All of that staff worked with his creativity and their sense of construction and detail, and the sparkle and the awe and the up and the in and the. It was just, I was flying without ever having to have any wires in the sky. When I moved,
Right.
it looked like I was flying. It
Right.
was unbelievable. And
Oh,
like, you know, yeah, I loved it. It was such a great thing. And then I go, okay, this is a new phase now. I'm going to be doing Broadway's calling. You know, they were talking about taking it on the road, and it was like, oh my God, it's my next my next act.
Right,
You
right,
know how
right,
they
right.
say that? So
Yes,
it's
I
weird,
do.
but okay. Not
Uh-huh.
queer in a good way. Just so I said, so I was like, okay, all right. And then of course the door shut and I was like, okay. But going back to what you said, I think we have to work on something socially. I think it's something that I find that I think I figured it out. The reason why things have gotten so not cool, and how you get into the club after waiting outside or going through hassle or fighting to get on the list or whatever, you get into the club in modern times and you get in there and you go like, where are the cool people? This is all jerks. Like, okay, she's cute or he's cute or whatever, but it's like, where's the vibe? It's like nothing. It's just bottle popping and all that. And you're just thinking, oh, what am I, 15? I've seen it, do I need it? No, I don't even drink. So, the whole thing's dumb. And I realized what happened at a certain point. I don't know, early knots, cool equals cash.
Yeah.
And it is not true.
Right.
It's a lie. It's a marketing thing that the people who own the clubs and wanted to get rich quick did. They came up with that concept that cool equals cash. So if you pay to get in, then you pay for the bottle, you get the table service, you get the bottle, you get the girls going around, then you're cool, but you're not cool. That is not cool.
Right.
Cool is like what you read, what you think, what you say, what you give, what you take. Cool is really something, a melange of all of those things makes you cool.
That is
not
so right.
Right? Not taking a thing and doing the cool equals X. Right. Bottle popping. Or buying a look is something you buy off the mannequin. We used to make fun of people that would go in and they'd say, I'll take what's on the mannequin and wear it out. We thought it was a joke. Then it became the norm. So I was like, no, cool doesn't equal cash. God bless cash. I'm not fighting cash, but cool doesn't equal cash. Cool's a different thing.
Right. There's no challenge to like fill the hole, fill the vacancy. It's all performance and exhibition without any substance ever. No references.
I know Rudolf used to say, was it Rudolf or Andy? I actually don't remember, but those are two people that are a big influence of mine. And Rudolf Pieper, who owned the clubs, Danceteria, and worked with Palladium, Mars, Quick, Tunnel, a million clubs that or people know, the famous clubs in New York. And he said, oh, Jesus, what did he say? Maybe it was Andy who said it. Oh, I don't know who said it. Now I don't even know what I was talking about. See, pandemic. I even had pandemic. See, that's what I'm saying. So you're like, let's get the beat. Like, where's the beat? I want to dance big. I want to dance big, Tiffany. I want to go to a party, not to a party. I want to go to a club and I want to dance big, like take up a lot of space and no one elbows and no one is just doing, it's not enough. We're not, no. People are, moving like it all goes, like moving. Yes. Seducing while you dance.
Where can we do that?
Is there a
place? Okay.
Gonna come.
Because all I see is TikTok and I'm scared. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, but TikTok's a place filler.
True. Okay. All right. I believe you then on that. Yeah. I believe you on that. I want to ask you about, okay, this is what I want to ask you about because I didn't know that you had an album cover. I mean, this picture of you, and when we edit this, the picture will show up properly. Yeah. But what was happening here? Do you remember? Can you tell me about this? Because first of all, where's that t-shirt and why? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have a t-shirt, but the story is that Keith Haring was, we weren't lovers, but we really loved each other. And I think we kind of were a little bit like lovers, but we never slept together. And I mean, I know he's gay and everything, but the gay and lovers, sometimes in that world, things would just mix. But I felt I loved him. I loved him like a boy and he loved me like a girl. And we were always together and we were very close and we had a lot of unspoken things and a lot of spoken things. His studio was right upstairs from my office. I did clothes for bands. I designed clothes for bands. I did like Prince and and Hall & Oates and Mick Jagger and all kinds of famous people. I did clothing for Duran Duran. That's how I got to know those guys. That was really fun.
Oh,
But anyway, so did a lot of band clothes, and he was upstairs, on the 7th floor, and I was on the 6th. So we would go up and down to his studio and mine. He modeled in a fashion show that he was the big star of my show for at the Palladium in Manhattan, and which was a amazing event. And I know we were just really close. And he gave me that shirt, of course, and he gave me the new ones. And then I, of course, tied it in the back to make it even tighter.
of course.
And I think that was actually a shoot. And it was Wendy Whitelaw did my makeup.
Wow.
Wendy Whitelaw was a really crazy good makeup artist and a hot girl around town. I mean, honestly, I think that everybody wanted to sleep with her. Just to say, and I sent you another picture of Way Bandy. And I knew Way Bandy, makeup artist Way Bandy, near the end of his life.
Talk to me about Way all day. Tell me everything. Where's the Way picture? I'll find it.
First of all, it's black and white. First of all, this was a guy, like, you'd see him, you'd kiss him on the mouth, you'd hold him tight, he would be like your best friend. He'd make you laugh, make you happy. Just a joy. Skinny, tallish.
How did you know that? Do you agree that Way was the best? And how did you know?
I'll tell you what, to do skin like the skin I'm working now with this circle light,
right?
This kind of Polaroid skin, he could take Patty Hansen. Patty Hansen was extremely freckly, which is very fashion now. And it was still good because it was Patty Hansen. She's gorgeous, so it was okay. But the look was more like a matte with a little touch of porcelain skin. That was really the look, whited out, or if you were black, then it's very blacked out, very like intense contrast, and with big makeup out here and the whole story. And Way could take Patty Hansen, get rid of every freckle, and give her this porcelain gorgeous skin that just sort of glowed in front of the camera. And she was, it was great in a club. In shoots, of course, it was great. And with all that Kiana and Halston and all that draping and, that clothes falling off of you clothes that she used to wear, it was just really fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was like real face, like completely created face on that face, using her as the blueprint, of course. I mean, she's a beautiful girl.
Right. And then,
but I loved Way's skin, and I loved his eyes and his skin. I just thought,
what a
and
loss.
Then, that was a big loss to the world and also to the industry. Yeah, really. But he was really appreciated in his time. I mean, everyone was sort of on him because he was just great.
I think I have that feeling that he was appreciated while he was here and knew.
Yeah.
And that always makes me feel good, because sometimes, people, they don't get to hear about it while they're here,
Yeah.
And then, but that's so funny, because I did know that you designed clothes from the Guggenheim, told me that because it was an event, I think it was Madonna opening for Basquiat, or it was some.
No, it was I know that photo. I love that photo. It's it's like I have a kind of a bear claw hair, but of course very like Louis XIV meets like some rockabilly look, which was always been kind of my story, and a bear claw. And then he and I and Jean-Michel, it was actually Andy took that photo. Andy was right there, but he took the photo so you didn't see him. And Jean-Michel and I are watching Madonna say something or whatever. I never got on with her. I tell you, I never did. To this day, I don't. And I have a lot of incredibly weird stories with her over the years, where she always reached out to me and I somehow inadvertently just shut her down. And I didn't mean to. Things just happened.
It was received that way. It was received that way.
No, I delivered it that way. I can't tell you why. I think that the fates had it that, because we're from the same clan of 500 people, we're from the same Fab 500. We're from the same group of people. Like, it's like going to high school with these 500 people, and they're your closest people, and you saw them every single night, and they were everywhere and all that. I mean, I was a queen. She wasn't the queen, and she probably didn't like that, but whatever, relax. And everyone else just sort of, she's not a girl's girl. I mean, she has friends, but she's not. Debbie Mazar is a close friend of hers. And so Debbie Mazar, who is a girl's girl, gets along with her fabulously, but I just never really did. And of course, our paths crossed over the years everywhere. I mean, she would be backstage at Mugler. We had shared friends. We'd be at the same table and not get along. It was very weird.
Well, Jean-Paul Gaultier always would I mean, did your paths cross there as well?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Of course. In Paris, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the timing. Yes.
But something happened very weird, actually. I had this. This was really strange. I had an assistant, which is fine. I was doing menswear. I needed an assistant. I had sewers. We had a whole company and we were working all the time. And so that means I'd go out all night. I'd come into work, I'd drag my ass in about 10:30, and then I'd stay until forever. Then I'd go home, take a bath, disco nap, get dressed, go out, do it again until Friday night. And then Friday night, if I went out, I would come home whenever. Then I would lock the door and not come out until Monday. So I would sleep my week on the weekends, which was really good. And boy, you look good Monday when you do that. I'll tell you, when you just like you look really good. All the bathing and pampering and talking on the princess phone.
I just got one for Christmas, a princess phone. So I know. It's changing my life.
How nice. So lovely for you. Oh, that's a wonderful thing. Yeah. I remember mine had a really long cord because of course you didn't have portable in any way phone. Yeah. And I could just take it from the tub to my room it was great. It was really great. But I used to record telephone conversations by mistake because the timing was such. If you called me and I picked up from the bedroom, it would start to record the conversations. Right. That's why I have so many conversations with so many people on those things. And I even have what was used to be called an obscene phone call. That was when, do you know?
Oh, yes. Oh,
yeah. Hysterical, right?
Absolutely.
They went in the phone book or they randomly called and got a girl's answering machine and they would just leave a message, a total, look at my boner. It's 15 inches. Who wants that?
Why?
What would I do with 15 inches of penis? I just don't know why they even come up with that number. Why don't you just be more comfortable? I guess in the heat of the masturbation, a number comes out and they just stick with it,
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with that number. Yeah. But I totally sidetracked you. You were talking about your assistant and when you were designing.
Oh, anyway.
And then,
God.
Yes, I completely sidetracked
you. In the meantime, she had been an assistant of a good girlfriend of mine, Suzanne Barsh, who is really kind of the queen of clubs now, for sure. And she was an assistant for her. And so I got that recommendation about this girl that she was the assistant for her. And she looked kind of like a little bit like Suzanne at the time. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I hired her. So she started working for me and she was very efficient and good and everything. She was German girl, like German Israeli, something like that. Blonde. She became blonde. Okay. So she was brunette and then she became blonde. So I didn't think anything of it. Then she started, finding out where I got my hair pieces and started wearing her hair in it the way mine was. Then she started wearing rubber skirts, getting rubber skirts, which really no one else in town did except me because I had to get them made up in London. Then people said to me, look, they call out your name. She turns around and waves.
Okay.
And I'm like, I hear all these stories. I'm thinking, uh-oh. Because she was brunette and did look like Suzanne when I hired her, and now she's starting to look like me. This is weird.
Yeah.
Then I get an invitation. Then an invitation comes, and she goes, "Oh, this is my invitation to Madonna's baby shower, but I think I'm not going to go." And then she puts it in her bag, and I go, I thought that's weird. How does she know Madonna? Why would Madonna invite her and not invite me? It's super weird. But then I thought, okay, whatever. Fuck Madonna, whatever. Meantime, I don't go, right? Then they call me from the event, the PR people, and then the next day, everyone's calling me that Madonna's furious. Obviously,
I knew it.
Damn it! Well, I was so naive. I didn't understand that. Of course, that invitation was me, and they were screaming at me, going, why would you think Madonna would send to your assistant this girl who like copies to look like you and not to you? And I was like, I don't know. It was so weird that I believed it, you know? So I'm dissing Madonna, you see, in a bad way. I mean, it's bad to diss at a baby shower, but I didn't do it on purpose.
When you said you have had weird interactions, I was like, why is she choosing that word weird? And that is exactly why, because
That's really weird.
Is weird.
That is super weird. That is really that is so weird. And it's mean without being mean. Like I wouldn't ever do something like that to someone. Never.
My worst nightmare is like unread messages, or I sent the flowers and you didn't get them, and you're thinking but I'm too nervous to see, did you get the flowers? You know, because I don't want to look like a weirdo who need it. You know what I mean? That's my worst nightmare. So baby shower for Madonna. I mean, my God, that's bad. Yeah.
That's very bad. And they were like, and then believe me.
It's too late to address it. Oh, no excuse is good enough. No, you can't say, well, my assistant is, you know, she has a borderline personality disorder and is pretending to be whoever she's assisting, and this is what happened. You can't, it doesn't, no. It doesn't.
Something happened that was very weird. She came into the office one day and she had really morphed into me, and it was getting weird, and her voice was changing and everything, because she had a British accent. Like Suzanne, like she's from Switzerland, but she learned English in London, so she had a little London accent, and the girl came in like that, and then she was starting to speak more like me. So, and it was getting really weird. And she said something to me that was somehow scary, like ooh, movie scary. And she opened up her bag, and I saw she had some really long, sharp scissors in her bag.
Oh no.
And then I fired her.
That was her last day. Yeah.
And she wanted me to see the scissors. That was very strange. Yeah. But you know, this kind of crazy stuff used to happen all the time in New York. New York was really nuts. Like we got really sophisticated with dealing with it. We were more like, oh yes, maybe she was trying to, you know, I don't know what she was going to do with those scissors, but let me tell you, I fired her. You know, we get very blasé about it.
I had to fire her. I saw the scissors. Yeah. Just another story. But I was trying to find the way picture. Oh my goodness. Let me see I saved them all to a folder that I can't access, of course, right now.
It's fun when I see the dresses that I wore that only I ever wore, that Mugler did for me. Very inspired pieces and amazing things. Walking, you know, on the runway for him was just, you know, really a highlight.
And tell me, were you fitted by Mr. Pearl, or can you talk to me about like?
Oh, sure. Process. Of course, because some of those, I remember one time there's a dress that's now going on tour around the world with it's the most wonderful dress. It's black, classic, pointy, fitted all the way down, lacing all the way up. Just a corset dress, but not like in a Gautier way, which I love too. But no, this is something pure Mugler, and seams and silk and beautiful. And when we made the dress, Pearl was there, of course, and I know Pearl, and I've obviously known him from the scene before. And
really?
Oh yeah, sure. Pearl was definitely in the 500. He was part of the 500, Mr. Pearl, for sure he was. And but Pearl is a fetishist, and he's very serious about the laces and all that. And he has like a kind of psychiatrist, mistress, whatever, that he really follows her religiously. And he dealt with the psychological problems by channeling that X into his laces. So when he would lace us up, he would have a similar mentality. He was very serious about that. Right. And I remember some of the girls that were just kind of regular girls that didn't have experience with corsets and things like I did. They were very freaked out about the intensity of it. And they would tell each other, breathe out, push out when they're lacing you, and then you'll have room to breathe later. and me, I was like,
Yeah,
holding my breath.
that's against the rules, right?
I know. I would be like, no, get another quarter inch, get this much more. And he had
Yes.
an idea that he had to get my waist to a number. I don't know what it was, 20 or something, 21, something like that. And I was a 23. I had a small waist, but he was pulling me, like he pulled me. And I remember having this corset dress on in the fitting. And in Mugler, you couldn't just go and like walk in chewing gum. You'd have to pose for him the way you would on stage. On stage, you have to give everything and be very serious the way you would in a performance. And I was thinking, I wonder if I'm going to be able to have babies after this.
Oh my gosh, of course.
So squished.
Of course.
And Pearl with his fetish con was like taking me in more. And then eventually they made the dress. And when I did wear the dress on stage, of course you can't walk, so you can't go up a stair or anything like that. So they had a strong guy who was waiting. When I had to do one passage, I had to get to another part of the stage because I was up on a big blue star. I came out on it was really like,
yes, I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see it in my mind. Yes.
And the guy had to carry me up the stairs and then place me there. And then I could do a little bit of, little tiny little steps forward like this. And I thought, well, what can I do? I can't even move my hips or shoulders or anything. And so I took a hand and I started to just outline the dress, which was my body. And then one arm up and then the other arm up. And it was really a good passage.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And you never fainted. You never fainted or anything.
No, I didn't faint. No, I didn't faint. I just, the things we do for love or for art. Yeah.
Well, now it's traveling in a museum. I mean, these are not just, little things. These are just literally, the word iconic is completely overused, but this is what
it's a good one. I would say that dress is an iconic dress.
I would,
and
too.
I'm happy that he made it with me, for me, and everything. That was really something.
Oh,
yeah.
What are some of your favorite memories, like in particular, when you think like there's so many, I know.
Yeah. I've just had so many lives, I've had so many lives, and I'm pretty happy about that because I sort of feel, I'm sure a lot of us do, that I have a new life coming. I feel like there's a new, that feeling like you think, oh, okay, so I did this, and now something's up. Like, where am I steering myself? And I think all creatives feel that way. You have this podcast is happening, and you're putting it out. You're getting like really interesting people on the show,
Thank you.
And I mean, that's why everyone loves it, and I understand that. And I'm just like, oh wow, and I thought, oh my god, when I saw Dita's background, I go, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna? What should I do? I think I'll just wear big hair and cover the background a little bit, And because I find myself when I'm watching a podcast or I'm watching your show, I do look at the details of what's behind you and everybody else.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Of course. I do too.
I know. Lava lamp.
I know. My lava lamp. I know. Yeah. I had to put my lava lamp. My son not growing up with a lava lamp really makes me want to cry. I'm like, come on, every generation had one, and we need to do that.
It's very important.
And we were talking about Pee-wee, which is the ultimate background, like the ultimate detail. Yeah. Yes, I wondered
what an artist.
Oh, I agree completely. I was wondering about this look in particular, and I was curious to know if you made this. Because I feel like this was something that you made happen. You know what I mean?
Well,
and if did you do that a lot?
I was like, no, I was having I was talking to Terry about a biker chick moment that I was thinking of. Like, how would I do like those motocross bikes, like, the look, the guys wear those pants. Yes. They're very cool. How would I do it? How would I do it? And he came up with this, with the quilted leather bra that was like, honestly, that bra should be copied and put on the market for every woman in the world, because it takes every shape boob of every size and just makes like, just like an eruption of boobs. It's just the most amazing thing, and everything stays in place. You could actually ride a motocross bike and they would barely bounce. It's
I don't
unbelievable.
understand how it's quilted and yet still looks completely sleek.
Quilted leather.
My
Leather. I mean,
God.
and the leather is like, from Japan, some cows they massage.
Unbelievable.
I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat them, but once in a while I'll wear them.
Yes, I'm the same. I have the same rule. I know.
Yeah.
I can't give it up. And then your nails here are incredible. They're like pointy and fabulous. How many
and that was my diet. I ate grapes, carrots, grapefruit juice, grapefruits, and this stuff called bran bread, which had like 12 calories per slice, and crackers, G&G brand bread, which they do have on Amazon, and I love it. Sometimes you can't ever get it. It's sold out everywhere, and then all of a sudden it's there. So when I see it, I buy like all I can put in my cart.
Diane, I do that. I do that with Tab. There are some Walmarts that have Tab, and if I see it, it's done. It's done. I get them all.
Oh, I wish we could share a Tab too. I would love to share a Tab with you.
When I'm doing these in person, and we have like part 15 of your life story, we're gonna play the answer.
Get those tabs out.
Yes. And then tell me about this night too. This blue, beautiful night.
That's runway.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, the hair is doing something really funny. And I think what happened is I must have done some sort of flipping thing. And then, of course it's a wig. And I think when I was flipping, I must have flopped, and then the hair kind of came down like that.
I see. Because it's a beehive with a pony.
No, you see the longer piece?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And underneath, that was a Danilo design.
God,
yeah.
Tell me about
God
it.
bless.
Tell me
He's
about
done my hair since, honestly, he learned hair wigs on me, and he'll tell you that. He learned that world of wigs, hair pieces on me. Because I had I have a half sister who really was very glamorous, and she was from Miami, and I didn't spend a lot of time with her. She's still alive, but I don't see her very much. And I knew her very peripherally, unfortunately, but that happens sometimes in families. And she used to get like ponytails and long wigs and do all kinds of stuff before everybody was doing it. And then I jumped right into that. I was like, okay. I mean, I have good hair on my own, but it was more fun to create all these things. And Danilo just blossomed. I mean, it's his world. And look what he does. I mean, it's so good.
I've never met him, and I worship every single thing that he does. I think he's incredible, and
he's a beautiful man.
Yes.
Like physically beautiful man. Like a man who's beautiful and smells good. And he may have on nail polish and another color hair and some lashes, whatever, but but when you get near to him, you just feel like I'm with Marlon Brando at his peak.
He's so handsome.
He's so handsome.
And then what is happening in this picture? Tell me.
What is going on there?
That
was in Danceteria, and that was one of my first fashion shows in the city. And I called it the perfect dozen, and there were 13 men. That was a perfect dozen because there's always room for another one. and I was starting out doing menswear where I was reconstructing existing clothing. So I would get like vintage clothing, and I would go to the they called them rag barns, and I would go in and buy the pound suits.
Yes, I've done that.
Suits, shirts, dresses, right? And I would buy hundreds, and then I started exporting them to Japan and Sweden. And then at one point I thought, okay, I'm going to make something. And I would just cross the jacket, cut it, hem it up, add some leather, put some straps on the waist. And all of a sudden you'd have these like short, cool jackets, and the pants. I took like huge suits that were for like really big men, and I cut them down and make them all pleated. And so it was like thick, big pants. It sort of moved like those Pajuco suit guys, Yeah. I would make that look. And so I would just redesign. That's how I learned how to design menswear. I would redesign. Yeah. And that was a wonderful world. And that kept me in New York because I made a lot of cash.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't like money that you put in the bank. It was just like more cash, so you could go out every night and meet your
Yeah.
friends and
Like
create. And I loved it.
my coat check money, which was not creative at all, just hoarding cash.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I
It's
got,
wonderful.
but
It's wonderful.
the hair in this picture is not a hat. No?
No,
I
no,
mean,
it's not.
Diane, I thought it was a hat. I
know,
was like,
because
that's a hat.
so in those, I think in those days, my hair was about here. My natural hair was about here, and I have quite full hair. Actually, I have really good hair, I have to say. And then before I was bleaching it this color, the quality was very good. And
How did you keep it that good?
Because I didn't bleach it all one color. I put little bits in it. I was very selective, you know. Also, blonde, you didn't know this, but blonde was different then. Blonde was like the girl that had dark hair with a little bit of blonde pieces. That was considered a blonde.
Right.
It was only later that it turned to this.
Right.
I mean, with Mugler, I went this blonde. And then I stayed this blonde, and I think this is probably eternal for me. I would imagine. I don't see me going red or whatever.
I mean, there are no extensions in your hair right now, if you don't mind me asking. Are there?
No, this is my hair is blended. No, this isn't my hair. No, sorry. No, it's not. I would never destroy my hair like this with all this crimping and all that. No, it's not. It's a piece. It's a piece.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But I have my own hair. This is my own hair.
Yes. Okay. So that's clear. Got it.
Yeah. So I had taken it and I did a lot of roles. I worked with like 40s ideas. You know, we used to go in and, you know, I'd be buying dresses to reconstruct. And we would take them to the dry cleaner and have the 1 hour cleaner. We'd have it back. Then we just cut it, add some feathers. If we couldn't zip it up, we would just sew it up and then wear it that night and then take it off, you know, maybe resell it, maybe not, you know, it was like that. It was like clothes were always there for me somehow. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it had nothing to do with money. Money. I love money. I've always had a thing for money. One of my collections I did was called the New Millionaires Club. And I saw that. Keith Haring was the star of that show. Also, the guy who just won the lotto was a star. It was quite famous at the time, called Curtis Sharp, was a star of the show too. And I love playing with the idea of money and the fun of money and the cartoon joy of playful money and, you know, just like money that to burn, you know, the fun of it. I understand that playful side of it. What I just feel a big resistance to is money. I have to say it again. Money does not equal cool. Cash does not equal cool. And in those days, believe me, if you gave $100 to the doorman or doorwoman, they would take the money, but they wouldn't let you in if you weren't cool. That's it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, they just wouldn't. No. You know, and it wasn't, you couldn't buy your way into these clubs or the great restaurants or whatever that were cool. You couldn't, you know, we used to do things called outlaw parties. Rudolf was doing a lot of these where so cool. Andy would call me and go, you have to be there at 10 o'clock. Don't be there at 10:05. You have to be there on time. Diane, please be on time because it could be over in 5 minutes. And it's an outlaw party and it's at 10 o'clock and it's at this train station. So like in the subway, some deserted subway area. They come in, they bring like 2 speakers, set up a fake bar quickly and have one thing, whatever, alcohol, whatever they would have. I wasn't drinking, so I didn't really care. And then they would just set up the thing and everybody would be there at 10 o'clock and they leave a message on your answering machine. They give you like a flyer. The word would get out. You'd call your friends and all of a sudden there'd be hundreds of us in an abandoned train station. And that party could go on for hours or be closed down in 15 minutes.
Yes. Oh, that is cool. So cool. And I feel like that's what Prince used to do too with his parties. And, you know, you would hear the word and you'd remember they'd call you on the answering machine and you'd be like, they'd leave a message about where the party was and if your name was on the list. It was very different, very different.
There was no list on the subway. Anyone could walk in. But you'd have to know where it was. Otherwise you wouldn't be there.
Exactly. You had to be cool enough to know, and you can't pay for that.
Can't pay for that. Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No,
so it was funny because I never thought of us as snobs or elitists because it wasn't. Because we weren't, it wasn't the traditional ways, the way they were uptown, for instance, where they would,
Right.
eventually uptown decided that downtown was cool and they wanted part of it. And they wanted our art and they wanted our music and they wanted our fashion and they wanted our thoughts and all that. And then a lot of the people started to integrate, and then we would take the cool people from uptown and bring them downtown, and we would go uptown. And there was a lot of mixing of interesting people. But the standard way they used to do things there was a big division of really people that were very, very closed before. They were very narrow, and they were social climbing in that classical way that is so naff and so 50s in the wrong way and all that. And so, and I remember one time walking into a party, I was already pretty famous. I mean, at one point, I have to say, without sounding arrogant, I mean, I was 20, or I was very young. I'd walk down the street and, cab drivers would scream out, hey, Diane Brill, oh, Diane Brill, Diane Brill. And, I'd hear my name. And one time I was walking by and I was in the West Village and I had on these incredible red shoes I had gotten from London. They were super high stilettos, really great. And some little cha-cha dress or whatever in the middle of the day, getting my dry cleaning, whatever I was doing, which was typical for me, and like a beehive or whatever. And a taxi driver was screaming, Diane Brill. The guy hit the car in front of him and still kept looking. And I thought, oh, I made it. That's it. That I can say, yes, I can feel confident. I definitely am having a moment now.
Oh, I love that. I
So
love
crazy.
that. It reminds me of kind of like a Charlie commercial or something. I don't know.
Yes, Charlie. Yeah, those incredibly long-legged girls, and they were like, springtime. Oh my God. Lauren Hutton was in a Mugler show once, and Lauren Hutton, is an unusual and kind of a turned things around in modeling with her gap in her tooth and her kind of attitude, which was sort of other than what was going on then. And but she hadn't modeled in a long time. And she went on the runway and she kicked out her legs front and back like a Charlie commercial, like it's springtime. And I kept thinking, and I was looking at Iman and I was like, it's springtime, like what is going on? Someone tell her, someone's got to talk to her, She hadn't done a show in ages.
Because it was like catalog. It was like catalog.
It was like catalog springtime, yeah. And Iman and I were not being bitches because we both had our own styles and everything. But like there are certain people that just wouldn't get it. Claudia Schiffer, Claudia Schiffer is a fucking gorgeous woman. Yes. She was really strange and beautiful. And she looked like Bardot, but she also looked like scary. I don't know. She was very beautiful girl. But she walked like a soldier. She was like clomp, 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 So she couldn't change it. So she learned how to walk like a soldier and then pose really well. So she would clomp and then she'd stop and then she would just pose and do all her stuff, and then all was forgiven,
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah, it was interesting. But every girl, I think in those days, we all had to have our thing. We had to have our performance. It was not a joke. We couldn't just go out and look sad and walk down the runway.
No.
No. And also it wasn't one look for girls. And I know it's evolving. I mean, I haven't been to show. The last show I went to was the Blonde Show, which was 2019. Oh my God.
Yeah, they didn't. Was it the one with Paris Hilton? Yeah. 2019. Mm-hmm.
That was unbelievable. That show.
I'm so envious that you saw that.
Honestly, you should be, because you should have been there. And I almost wasn't there. I was lucky enough to be invited, and I had a seat in the audience, because it was it's a theater, like a Broadway theater. But when I was standing outside, there was a pre-party that I didn't know about, and I got there and I wasn't on the list. And I said, yeah, but I'm actually even better. I'm at the show, so this is a pre-thing or whatever. And while the girl was checking, I just stormed in.
Stop, Diane.
I'm not missing that party. I have too many years of getting into the right parties. I am not missing this one. And I just stormed in. So what's she going to do? And I was so impressive. She couldn't run after and chase me and say, ma'am, there were too many people. So she just lost me while she was fooling around.
Oh my God, I love that. I
Sometimes you got to crash in modern days. Let me tell you, you can't fool around. You got to get, if you want to get in there, you got to crash in there.
100%. I fully approve of crashing. Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
Oh,
really
Kabuki did that makeup, but I can't remember who did the hair, but that, yes, the pictures from that were incredible. I was very, very, very.
Kabuki is so good, huh?
Oh my
I
God.
remember his
Un
mermaids. He would take a piece of paper and cut it out and paint it and then just sort of bend it and attach it to his face. There'd be like mermaid gills coming out.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
It's unbelievable. I think it changed the way I felt about makeup when I saw that. I thought, okay, now makeup is bigger than I had ever imagined. Because
Right, right.
it just opened up a whole new world. And then there's the what's the wigs and makeup manager on Instagram. Have you know her?
No, no.
Oh, like, oh, you have to have
Why
her on
don't
your
I know?
show.
Okay,
No, you
all
have to
right.
have her on your show. It's
Okay.
called the Wigs and Makeup Manager. You'll flip out. She's British. You'll flip out. She's known. She's amazing. She works with paper, jewels.
Oh,
She's
really?
extremely beautiful. She does it all on her face, on her own face. She did a
Okay.
lot of skeleton situations with jeweled skeletons, and she was into all of that. But she's stretched a little bit. Unbelievable. The Wigs and Makeup
Okay.
Manager. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on that. I'm on
Yeah.
that. Oh my God. All right. And then what I was
Who are
going to
you
ask
following on TikTok? Who are you following on TikTok?
my son. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at TikTok. It's embarrassing, Diane.
Well,
Are
I
you
don't
on
know.
TikTok?
Nothing really registers with me. Sometimes I look at the hot guys and then I feel guilty and I think, ugh, what if my husband sees that I'm following this guy? And then I think, oh, this guy, what a slut. He's just a prostitute. It's like, this guy is definitely a prostitute. I can tell he's a prostitute. Like, he's a prostitute. No offense to prostitutes, but I don't want to follow this guy. So I decide I'm not going to follow this guy. And then I see something else. And then, lately, have you ever heard about tapping?
Why do
No,
you
I
know
don't know.
more about this than me?
Well, I don't know because honestly, I think it's been the lockdown.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, I can't even tell you about the rabbit holes I go down. It's too embarrassing. Tell me about the tapping.
Tapping is
Why
really the
don't I
next thing.
know this?
It's when you get like in a rut and
Okay.
like certainly I think all of us are in a rut and maybe some of us are coming out of it. Some are just wishing to come out of it. Some of us don't care about anything anymore. There's a different mood for everybody and, it changes with the weather. But honestly, after this incredible, crazy year, I even had COVID. I was in the hospital. It was terrible. It's shit.
Right.
Don't get it. Don't get it. Get vaccinated. Don't be an idiot. Get it vaccinated and get your little vaccination card, and then you can fly and live your life and have fun. And we can finally get to the roaring 20s, that we're dreaming of.
Yeah.
But with this tapping thing, that they say that there's certain meridians on your body.
I know about that. Oh, I do that.
Okay.
Oh, I swear by that. Yes. But tell me, explain it to me. Explain it to me.
Let's say you want to make money. So you say, top of your head, you go, I feel rich. And you top the tip. Then you say, people want to pay me. And you say, people would like to pay me.
I don't know about this.
And then you go, here you go. My debts melt away like butter in the hot sun. So you do all those kind of tappings and you have to do it every day, which, we don't do it.
No, my tapping was given to me by a psychiatrist. Yes, because I had a crazy boyfriend, and literally instead of telling me to leave the crazy boyfriend, why did they tell me to sit when he was triggering me to sit and tap these points? Tap these points.
Right.
And so here I am, he's like triggering me, right? And I'm like, okay. And I'm tapping. This was not, maybe later after we broke up and I was feeling sad, maybe I should tap, you know what I mean? And to feel better. But no, she wanted me to cope with the negative.
You should say her name out loud so none of us ever go to her.
I can't even remember. I would.
What a nightmare. What an opposite of what you needed.
I know,
my God.
But I did find that the tapping was very helpful with anxiety for sure.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I didn't know that it could manifest. I'm going to do that now. I want to
sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, so and what I discovered is my best friend Janice showed me, because she's like looking at all these dogs. I mean, I don't know why she doesn't have a dog, but she doesn't have a dog, but she looks at dogs constantly. She showed me in the search, you just put dogs and you get all the dogs. So I put tapping and I got all the tapping. So if you say hot guys and you get all the guys, you say hot girls, you get all the girls. You say like whatever you want, you just put it in and you get something. And I was like, I didn't even realize they had a search engine in TikTok, because I just usually just watch what's on.
Yes,
You know?
yes. Well, I have to follow you on TikTok now because I'm
I'm
following
not, no,
five.
I'm not doing
Oh,
it.
you're
I'm
not.
not
You're just
following.
following. You're
No,
just following.
no,
Okay, okay, okay.
no. It's unusual. I mean, follow me on Instagram, please. But
Yes,
dude, Diane Brill, it's easy. Everyone,
yes,
please follow me on
yes,
Instagram.
yes.
That's different, and I love that, and that's fun, and that always have a really good time. And I like to incorporate like my decades of glam, modern glam, past glam, hopefully future glam, get the decades of glam down in there.
Your
But,
feed
and,
is such a joy. It's a
oh,
joy.
well,
Yes,
I'm the fairy god babe. Want to get a
yes,
little
you are.
sparkle into your day, make it a little happier
Are you going to
and
make more
happy.
videos? Are you going to?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I shot some, and now we have to edit them.
Oh,
I'm
good.
also
Oh,
working
good.
on a. Also, I'm working on a. I'm sure everyone is working on a show now, but I am working on one too.
I
And
don't. I don't think everyone's working on one. I think. I think this sounds great. Yeah.
well, yeah, there's a network that wants to talk to me about something. They want to see what I have to present. So who knows? But I'm trying. And also, I shot something pretty interesting with a. I can't say what it is, but it's with a well-known producer, and it isn't my show, but I'm part of something, and we shot it some months ago, and the show is being shot now, and if that gets on Netflix, they're a huge producer for Netflix. It would be great for me. So I'm sort of
Does this
hoping that
happen to be
happens.
something that Mark Ballet also I saw him post about? Maybe.
Mark Ballett?
Yeah. Oh, Ballet.
I don't know. I don't know if he's involved.
Hmm.
It's not his project,
Okay.
but it could be like, but who knows? As I said, everyone I know is like trying something, but
Yes.
why not? What else can we do? We understand that the medium that works is, it isn't a party or hosting an event or having 34,000 people in the audience clapping for you as a fairy god babe. No, it's television, and it's podcasts, and it's like, reaching out, and it's all screen. It's screen, 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 small screen, big screen, 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 screen. So that's what we have to do.
Yes, 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 yes.
But I am doing some live thing with this show concept, which is kind of cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool, because I'm doing some live. I was like, fuck it, we have to do something live. I don't want to only record it. I want something live. So
That's fantastic.
yeah,
Oh,
because we love podcasts and we love live things, and we love to be part of that in modern life. Wouldn't you like to see that in the show?
yes, 100%. I know. Yes. I think that they're doing I feel like it's to the point where there are really good versions of it, and then some that just think that we'll be satisfied with just anything that comes up. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Yes.
So I feel like people are getting really savvy about it, which I'm happy about actually, because
Yes.
they're really kind of raising the bar, and these live
Yeah.
things have been really good. I love Justin
Yeah.
Bieber. I think his he did
He's so
something.
cute.
Yeah, but I felt like I was there, but it was still remote. So, I feel like we're getting good at that stuff now. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Diane. I feel like we need like a series of these. I feel like we need 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Maybe 5. I could talk
You're
to
so
you
fun.
all day long.
Well, we talked on the phone, and of course we met at the party, and I just got you kind of immediately. I was like, oh yes, she's good, and I asked Mao all about you, and you're so great, and your husband's great, and you two, what a wonderful couple, and this great kid, and
I feel the same way about
Yeah.
you. I do. And I cannot wait to talk to you again and see what's next.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining our party. I know that if you're listening to this, Diane, And I want you to share your stories about her with me on the Instagram or the YouTube channel, or just please. I already, when I was doing the teaser, saw a couple of stories on there that I want to hear more about. So go ahead and share your stories about Diane, because I'm sure if you're listening, she has touched your life in an amazing way. And I want to hear about it, and she'll like seeing all that too. I hope you had a good time with us and enjoyed yourself. Next week, I'm talking to Daniel Martin, and I had the best time talking to Daniel because we're both Pacific Northwest people. He's from Seattle, I'm from Portland, and we had a great time. I felt like I knew him forever, and we talked about a lot more than makeup. So I'm really anxious to hear what you have to say about that conversation as well, and I look forward to sharing it with you. So join us next time. Look Behind the Look is a Vinyl Foot production, written by me, your host, Tiffany Bartok, produced by Jace Bartok, and produced and edited by Kelly Riley, with audio engineering by Nicole Tucker. If you're interested in learning more, find our video version on the YouTube channel Look Behind the Look podcast. There you can see rare photos and clips from our guests. And please follow us on Twitter at LookBehindPod and Instagram at LookBehindTheLook. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe. And tell your friends and spread the word. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or any podcatcher of your choice. Thanks for listening to Look Behind the Look.